Okay, so you don't need to buy those oyster shells for your chickens. You don't need it. For the calcium, you don't need it. Let me show you what to do. So every time I use my eggs for anything, I keep the eggshells and I put them in this gallon freezer bag. All I do is after I crack the egg, I take the eggshells to the sink and I rinse them out with cold water and I just run my finger around the inside of it till you get all like the slimy feeling out of there. And that's it. And then I just tip them over like this in my dish drain and just let them dry out, right? To get the bulk of the water off. Then I take them, still wet, and I move them over to my counter and I just stick them on top of a paper towel. And then they sit there for like 24, 48 hours, depending on how long it takes for these guys to dry out based on the humidity in your room. And then I collect them in this gallon freezer bag. Now, once I have enough, like, you know, once it's pretty full, like I would do it now, then I'll take them and I'll either roll these with the rolling pin, and then you kind of get like, let me show you. Then you'll get like, just like little pieces, like this, and I'll crunch them up real good, right? So they're small enough that they're smaller than actually the oyster shell pieces that you get for your chickens. And then what I'll do is I'll just take all those and I dump them right in the chicken feed. Whether you're making your own feed or it's a commercial feed. I do it for both, it doesn't make a difference. And then the chickens kind of instinctively know to pick at that thing if they're needing more calcium in their diet. That's what I do. It's free. I don't bake them, I don't wash them, I don't do anything else. That's all I do with them. I've been doing this for years and it works great. Here's the difference between a completely dry eggshell, and one that's still wet, because you can't put them, they're not gonna crunch up right if they're not completely dry. So like when I put them in this bag, I don't seal the bag all the way. I leave it open so air can get to it. So here's some that I just dried this morning, or I washed this morning, so they're not dried out yet. And what happens is, if I crunch it, it still holds together, right? Because it's not totally dry. Now this one's totally dry. This one was sitting in the bag, and if I crunch it, it just falls apart. That's how you know they're dry enough. Just make sure you still have air circulation in that bag, just leave it open. And I just throw mine under my cabinet and they sit there forever. I've never had anything creepy happen. I've never had pests or mold or nothing bad happens. So passing it on to you, give it a try. It's free calcium. Then you don't have to buy those oyster shell things. And it goes right in their feed. You don't have to put them in a separate bin or anything. Another thing too, if they're totally dry out, what you can do with them is you can put them in a spice grinder and completely pulverize them and turn them into powder. Then you have a calcium powder, and you can take that and you can add that if you make your own dog and cat food. You can add it right to your dog and cat food and just mix it right in. And then there's some calcium supplement for them too. There you go. Hope this helps.